account of it and be a person secretary to the votes. So that is the secretary. Then moving on, we have the treasurer. Now the treasurer is someone, I think I always look at the treasurer and I remember that finicky teachers that we have at our books who was always like, don't spend any money and make sure that they don't let any students spend a lot of money when they go out for picnics or field trips. They oversee the club account. They have to keep a track of the
I was able to connect to a lot of people quite quickly, and that has improved to a certain level that I am able to form friendships very easily. The upside of this is that once I have formed that bond or friendship, I am able to convince them, or I am able to listen to them as well and get an idea of what they are looking for. If the needs match what the club is looking at or what I am looking at as a person, then I am able to improve that bond and make sure that the goals are met, both the other person's as well as mine. As a VP education, I believe it has taught me the most about management, in particularly how to manage people and how to manage time. You might have seen me bustling in at the last moment, but believe me, when I was a president, that period was a bit longer, and I would just go directly up on the stage. So even if it is a matter of 5-10 minutes, I believe it has helped me be a better person in time management. And in regard of people management, I have to convince people to step up and complete their levels so that they can improve themselves. Complete and take up the roles so that the meeting is fulfilled. And they also learn from those small roles which are there. I'm not demeaning the roles, but in the larger game of life, these roles are small, but they reach you a lot. As a president, judging everything, making sure that you're also getting in touch with the guests, because as a person, as mentioned earlier, you have to make sure that everything is running smoothly and also be aware of what is going on. So as a person, again, I had to get in touch with guests as well in the meetings, even though the VPM is supposed to primarily be in contact with guests. There are times when you may not be able to attend to all of them. As a person, I have to step up. As a person who is leading the ship, I also have to make certain decisions which determine the quality of this club eventually. For example, contests or milestone meetings, timely and well planned out decisions make all the difference in making sure that that event is a successful one. And the ability or the courage to take those decisions is something which I have learned when I was the president. And there are not many learnings, I can go on and on, but for now I have to go back to the Swarangi.
Moving on, can we have our experience shared from PTA of this?
I will share more about the role of the president. So that's like a promotion at your office. Till you are in the higher position, you always have your boss who can take the blame. But once you become the president, whatever is happening at your club is eventually your responsibility. If a certain role is not done well, yes, that person is responsible. But getting that work done from that person is eventually your responsibility. The VP is a bit busy, you take over that role. The VP membership is occupied, you take over that role. The sergeant at arms is busy, you go and get the back. So you are like a backup for any of the roles that are there. And eventually, no matter how much you say a role is big or small, when you are a president of the club, you are the face of the club when you go outside. Because whenever someone new comes up, the president does have more stage time. So when they go back home, when they go back to their home clubs, they say that, okay, yes, I had visited say Toastmasters Songs Club, I had visited Toastmaster Worlds Club. So what was the overall experience of a guest or a visiting Toastmaster, and as well as the existing members of the club, eventually it lies on the president. So I feel it gives you a great opportunity, firstly to play rest of the roles, understand how the things work, and then promote yourself to a manager who looks after all the roles and is responsible for how the meeting goes. So that's a few cents from my side. If you have any questions, those are the after the meeting. Anyone's right now, so I'm going to address.
Thank you so much, Mr. Minister. Last thing that I would like to mention is, when we are a member, I have observed that we always tend to
every meeting you have a sergeant, changes from meeting to meeting. So who's the real SAA? I have not seen that person, participate.
So the
What is
clubs,
the role apart from keeping the bags and custody of the? Is there anything else? Yes, yes.
so I think the club sergeant at arms is Postmaster Nikhil. So Postmaster Nikhil is our club sergeant at arms, and he has to make sure that all of the voting ballots and the awards are restored, and make sure that, but the meeting sergeant at arms changes at every meeting, and they have to make sure that they come early and they set up the room, and they make sure that the ballots and the voting ballots are distributed, the agenda are distributed, and there are no disruptions during the meeting. That's what the club meeting.
On a lighter note, the sergeant at arms, does he ever get to be real sergeant sitting here? At least once in his tenure.
If he takes up the role, definitely, but overall he is the sergeant because he has to collect the.
But in last 1 year, I have not seen the